What is up, sports bettors? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam coming to you with some NFL Week 1 best bets. So I've had a couple videos out here now previewing some NFL Week 1 best bets, previewing some specific games. In this video, I will be tackling the Buccaneers and the Cowboys Week 1 Sunday Night Football matchup. So funny enough, these two teams played in Week 1 last year. It was the NFL's opening night. And for those of you who remember, we got a pretty awesome game. The Bucs got out to a decent lead, fumbled it a couple times at the end zone when they're about to score. The Cowboys came back, took the lead, and then of course Brady did what Brady does, brought them down the field. Bucs won on a last-second field goal. We're hoping we can get a matchup as good as that one. Funny enough, last year the Bucs were pretty big favorites. This year, not so much. So looking at the money line odds, the OddsJam line prices them at minus 118, prices the Cowboys at plus 107. No book is giving you better odds than the OddsJam line as of right now. I looked earlier today and there was a positive EV play on the Bucs money line, but the odds have shifted. The biggest reason why the odds have shifted, my assumption, is the injury news out of Dallas. For those of you who have missed this, Tyron Smith went down in practice yesterday, the Cowboys starting left tackle, with a torn hamstring, which is just brutal for him. He hasn't played a full 16-game slate since like 2015, 2016, something like that. He's an absolute world-beating talent, stud left tackle, just can't stay healthy, and now he's expected to miss most likely the whole season. That's a tough break for the Cowboys offensive line that lost two starters in the offseason in La'el Collins and Connor Williams. Now they have to replace also their starting left tackle, and they really don't have anybody on the roster to do so. So the Bucs money line, my guess is that as the betting market starts to update based on the injury news, it's going to end even more in favor of the Bucs than it currently is, with the OddsJam line pricing it at minus 118. Just 24 hours ago, this game was a pick'em with no team being favored. Now we're starting to see the lines shift towards the Bucs, and my guess is as time goes on, it will start to do that even more. Looking at the spread, this was pretty much plus or minus a half point for each team, depending on what book you looked at just 24 hours ago. And now we see the Bucs as 1 to 1.5 point favorites, depending on what book you look at. The OddsJam line is pricing this spread at Bucs minus 1.5. Granted, they're favoring the Cowboys a little bit at that number. With other books, BetMGM, BetOnline being another sharp book, pricing this at Bucs minus 1. So not really any value here on the spread as it currently stands, with the OddsJam line pricing the Bucs minus 1 at minus 111. You could get them at minus 110 on BetMGM. My guess is that will beat the closing line, but it's not positive EV as of right now. Looking at the total, kind of similar. So this total has been bet down from, I think it was at 52. At one point, it's been bet all the way down to the best odds you can get for the under would be 50.5. And FanDuel has this all the way down at 49.5, with a little bit juiced towards the over. But I'm not seeing any value here on the total. If I were to give my official prediction, I would actually say this total goes under. I think that both of these teams might have a little bit of growing pain on offense. I've talked about the Cowboys offensive line. Now we should mention their skill positions. In the offseason, they lost Amari Cooper via trade to the Browns. They lost Cedric Wilson via free agency. And then Michael Gallup tore his ACL in week 17 of last year. He has since been removed from the PUP list, so he's not guaranteed to miss the first 4 games, but he's also not guaranteed to start in week 1. So I could see the Cowboys offense, with their skill positions changing, with Zeke being another year older, with their offensive line kind of in shambles, really struggling on offense. And then on the Bucs side, they're replacing Bruce Arians at head coach. Offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich has been there pretty much the entire time Brady has been. So their offensive system shouldn't change that much, but still losing the head coach figure that Bruce Arians was, good head coach. Maybe there's some growing pains there. What I think is much more tangible and an easier thing to project is their offensive line. The Bucs have lost Ryan Jensen to injury in practice. They lost guard Aaron Stinney to torn ACL and MCL in the preseason. And this is on top of starting guard Ali Marpet retiring in the offseason. So both of these teams have to replace 3 total starters from their previous offensive line. So I think that the offenses are going to struggle. These are also two good defenses. If we just want to look at how these defenses ranked last year according to DVOA, which is a stat that I really like to look at to grade a team, Cowboys had the number 2 defense in the entire NFL. The Bucs had number 9. 2 top 10 defenses. While I am on record saying I think this Cowboys defense won't be as good in 2022 as they were in 2021, they'll still be a good defense unless, they get hit by injuries, which is always possible. So I love this total going under 50.5. It's not a positive EV play as of right now. I think it will end up being one, so I do like the under. But my favorite play here, I'm going to do something that we're not supposed to do, but I'm going to project that this will end up beating the closing line and that it will end as a positive expected value play. Really, all you want to do when you're sports betting is beat the closing line. I think with the injuries that the Cowboys are facing up front, with their kind of confusion and uncertainty around the skill positions, I think that the Bucs are going to end up as the favorite here, a bigger favorite, I should say, than they are. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in on Tipico. Bucs money line. I'm going to put a full unit on this one. I'm very confident in the Bucs winning week 1, and the bet has been accepted. So the bet has been placed. Let me go ahead and lock this in for $100. Just adding this to my bet tracker. And the logic for the Bucs money line, I've kind of already stated. I think that in general, the Chris Godwin injury is a little bit of a concern for the Bucs offensively, but I do think they are better built to withstand the Chris Godwin injury than the Cowboys are the Michael Gallup injury. Granted, Gronk retired, so he is going to need to be replaced, but they still have Cameron Brate, who's certainly not Gronk. He's not horrible either. He's okay. They still have Mike Evans, who is a one-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowl receiver. They signed reliable slot option Russell Gage. He's not going to turn into the best receiver in the league, but he's reliable. So is Scotty Miller. And Dak Prescott really, for this game, is only going to have CeeDee Lamb to throw to. Dalton Schultz is a good tight end, but he's not a world beater like Gronk is. And then, like I said, Zeke is another year older. So all in all, I love the Bucs in this matchup to get the win. I know this is a home game for the Cowboys, but that doesn't scare me off. At the end of the day, I'm just going to trust Tom Brady to get it done against a Cowboys team that probably is going to take a step back from how they were last year. And that is going to be it. So Bucs money line as my official pick. If you want a bonus pick, I would say take the under 50.5 at BetMGM. This is a bet that I'm pretty confident will end up beating the closing line, but I'm just going to stick with the Bucs money line for now. And that's going to be it. So let me know what you guys think. Comment on the video with your feedback, what I got right, what I got wrong. Any type of feedback, positive, negative, neutral, is all helpful for me. Other than that, would help me out a ton if you could like the video, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And that's going to be it. So excited for NFL, but I appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.